Today, we're going to dive into a truly timeless guide for finding peace, and it's called Psalm 4. You know, it's this ancient prayer that offers a surprisingly practical roadmap for finding calm, especially when life feels like anything but calm. So let's see what its wisdom has to teach us about navigating our own crazy times. I mean, who isn't, right? We've all been there. The pressure from work, that constant low-level anxiety about the future, or just that feeling of being completely and utterly overwhelmed. It's a universal human experience, for sure. So the real question isn't if we'll feel this way. It's what do we do when it happens? And that's exactly where Psalm 4 comes in. It is so much more than just a hopeful text. It really is a practical roadmap. It lays out this clear journey that can take us from a place of raw, honest distress all the way to one of profound calm and confidence. So where does a journey like this even begin? Well, you might be surprised. It doesn't start with forced positivity or pretending everything's okay. Nope. It starts with a raw, honest plea coming from a place of genuine trouble. The psalm just kicks right off with this powerful line, "Answer me when I call." You can almost feel the urgency in those words, can't you? This isn't some polished, perfect prayer. It's direct, it's emotional, and it's so relatable because you know it's coming from a place of real, legitimate need. And this starting point, it tells us something really profound. It teaches us that faith isn't about being immune to pressure or fear. Not at all. Instead, real faith gives us the confidence to be brutally honest about those feelings, trusting that we can voice all our frustrations and still, somehow, be heard. Okay, so after that honest plea, the psalm moves into the next crucial step. What do you do with all those strong emotions that bubble up in these difficult times? And it offers some brilliant and honestly very modern advice on how to manage them in a constructive way. This is such a fascinating piece of wisdom. The psalmist doesn't say, hey, don't be angry. It fully acknowledges that anger is a real, valid human emotion. The challenge it gives us is to feel that anger without letting it curdle into some kind of destructive action, to hold the emotion without letting the emotion get a hold of you. So this shows us the two paths we can take, right? On one hand, there's that impulsive reaction where frustration just takes over and we lash out. But then there's the faith-filled response that the psalm encourages. You acknowledge the emotion, but you create a space, a little pause to handle it with wisdom. It's all about choosing a thoughtful response over a knee-jerk reaction, a skill that can literally transform how we navigate conflict and stress. And this leads us right into the next practical step on this path to peace. After acknowledging our emotions without just acting on them, the psalm guides us toward the incredible power of quiet, intentional reflection. Oh man, we have all been there, lying awake at night, our minds just racing with worries and anxieties. It's often when we're at our most vulnerable. Well, the psalmist addresses this exact scenario, offering a really clear alternative to just letting those thoughts spiral out of control. So how do we actually find that stillness? The psalm gives us this simple 3-step practice. First, just pause. Intentionally break that cycle of worry. Second, reflect quietly in your heart. This isn't about emptying your mind, it's more about examining your thoughts. And third, consciously shift your focus away from the problem and toward a place of trust. It's a simple, but believe me, incredibly powerful way to reclaim your peace. And now we get to the destination. After the honest plea, after the wise handling of emotions, and after the quiet reflection, the psalm ends with an incredible promise: the arrival of a deep and abiding peace. This is the place we've been heading toward the whole time. After the struggle and the reflection, we finally arrive at this beautiful resolution, a promise that speaks directly to anyone who has ever felt overwhelmed and just longed for a little rest. Just take a moment with that. In peace, I will lie down and sleep. I mean, that is the ultimate statement of trust and tranquility. It's not a denial of the problems outside. It's a declaration of a safety so profound that you can find rest right in the middle of all of them. And this gets to the very heart of the psalm's message. The peace it's describing isn't dependent on having perfect circumstances. It's not about everything in life going right. No, true peace is an internal state of security that comes from a deep trust, and it's completely independent of what's happening on the outside. And all of this leads us to one final question to really reflect on. Following the path of this ancient prayer, Where can you find a peace so deep that it isn't shaken by the storms of life? It's a really powerful thought to carry with you.